All right. So yeah, I'll do the countdown and then we'll clap. So
yeah, but
3.
tonight's episode of Too Many Movies is brought to you by a cabin in the woods. It's our cabin. It's our property. Leave us alone.
Why do you have to dox us like that, saying we're recording this in a cabin?
Oh, don't worry. We're on a different planet. Don't ever find us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for us. Anyway, so yeah, 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. All right, so I was thinking the way we would do this is we would do obviously the intro, then I'll introduce you, then basically we'll do Interstellar and then Buzz Lightyear. Does that sound good?
I mean, yeah, sure, but, you could have just started off with saying, hello, everyone, welcome to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we talk about DVDs, Blu-rays, and the occasional VHS tape. I'm your guest, Mordo, and Hal just did not do the intro for some reason.
No,
he just said, oh, hey, here's the rundown.
Well, we do the rundown after we do the clap sync. Sorry, have I don't do the clap sync as like the last thing before the intro anymore. Like I do the clap sync when we start the recording just to like get it over with.
All right, you want to try this again?
Yes. So I'll do the real intro and then we'll go from there. I don't have to. I just like to just go over the stuff beforehand.
What is this intro anymore?
What is the show anymore? That's a good point. All right. Yeah, I'll do the intro. We'll go from there. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I think this is just my bit, my opening bit.
Yeah. Maybe I'll include all this. Maybe I won't.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just normally add before the episode starts, or just have this dumb audio session.
Yeah. I do like having a cold open from time to time just to see just to show that we're all friends, we're all good buddies, I don't include the abusive stuff though where I like hit you upside the head, but I don't think many people want to listen to that. Oh, see? It's working. I'm uncancelable.
I'll remember this part.
I guess I hit you pretty good then.
Guys, I have a condition.
Anyway, hello and welcome to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Hal, and with me here today, you know him, you love him, the only person crazy enough to watch Faust more than once other than me, it's Mordo. Hey, Mordo, you're back.
Yeah, I am back, but, I don't think I'm a little too happy with you right now.
No?
I'm sure if you all seen our Letterboxd reviews, I'm pretty sure you all know where this is going.
Yeah. So, Mordo, you're back today. I thought we would start...
You know what that means?
Yeah, I thought we would start the year off with another Nolan movie. Because it's not the first of the year. This is the first episode of the new year, 2024.
Yippee!
Yeah, new year, new us, new podcast episode.
Same bitch.
Same bitch. Yes, exactly.
Gotta get that image of Andrew Tate with the mouse squeeze from Fortnite.
Oh, that image explains the podcast perfectly. I agree.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to start things off the new year with a couple of space movies. The reason being is because if for listeners remember last year's first episode being with our good friend Chris, Space Chris 7, aka the Shafe of Shafrillis, and we talked about a couple of space movies then. So I thought, as a yearly tradition, I want the first episode of the new year to be on a couple of space movies. And Mordo, seeing as you and I have our own tradition of Nolan movies going on, we had a Nolan space movie to talk about. This was perfect. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh boy. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And I totally respect the idea of this being a tradition. God rest his soul.
Mm-hmm. So, unless there's anything else we have to say before we get into the movie, I don't know, is there?
May or may not expect a sibling rivalry in this episode, folks. I think we're going to get in some heated territory in this story arc.
Man, you're hyping us up like we're a couple of wrestlers going at each other. Which one of us is the villain wrestler and which one of us is the hero wrestler?
I think maybe more is like third act breakup. This is the third act breakup of the Nolan anthology.
You lied to me. I thought we were friends.
How can you not agree with me on something?
Third act breakup of Nolan movies. Oh, that's
of
good.
The Nolan anthology, baby.
Yeah. I don't know why that's so funny to me. It just is. Oh.
Well, I'm glad I made you laugh. That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know. There's no heated tension within us.
No, of course not. Well, I guess we should probably explain to the listeners who have no idea what the fuck we're talking about. We're talking about the Nolan movie Interstellar today. I mean, it's the only Nolan space movie we could have talked about. But basically, we watched Interstellar. This is an interesting movie, though, when it comes to Nolan movies, because it's like his most popular film on Letterboxd. Because for a while, his most popular film on Letterboxd was The Dark Knight. Makes sense. Batman's insanely popular, and it's the Dark Knight, one of the most famous movies ever made. Then for a while,
come on.
it was Then for a while, it was Inception, which heady Nolan, like weird Nolan movie with like a heady concept. I would feel Inception's like one of the most famous examples of that. Sure,
dude, I cannot wait to talk about Inception.
Me too. But now Interstellar is at the top. And I just think that's weird. Not because of my thoughts on it, because of my opinions on it, but I don't know. Interstellar doesn't seem like top tier like Nolan film, like at the top. You know what I'm trying to say? Like The Dark Knight and Inception make more sense to me as being Nolan's more popular films on Letterboxd. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, that I do understand. I do know. Like, I feel like I've seen like people. If anything, the only thing I know about this movie is the one clip people kept like using of what's his name, Cooper, just going no, and he's like banging his hand on the wall like a meme.
Yeah,
it's the only thing I know about it.
Yeah,
which we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, I guess we will. But yeah, so we watched Interstellar. I'm glad we did, because this was definitely a film I needed to rewatch, because I had seen it like once before years ago, maybe like 2020, when like I had nothing but time on my hands, and I'm like, well, I might as well watch Interstellar. I mean, come on. And I do remember really liking it, but I watched it again.
What the fuck happened this time?
So yeah, this is a lot of setup. Basically, I didn't like the movie as much upon my second rewatch. It really did not connect with me. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest takeaway I definitely got from watching this again, is that I definitely did not connect with it more on the second rewatch. I was like, ugh, this I just wasn't feeling it this time. But I don't think it's a bad movie. Let me make that clear. Because I know people are gonna be like, because I've seen people in my comment section on Letterboxd being like, oh, 2.5 stars, blah blah blah, as if it's like, okay, I didn't give it a half star, guys. Like, I think it's a fine movie. I just don't think it's amazing is the thing.
Hold on. I feel like we did this sort of thing at you when you reviewed like -1.
Maybe.
And then everyone, no, like I remember, like you gave it like 3.5 stars, and like all our friends were like 3.5 with like a certain like with a sad emocon.
Yeah, even though I really like -1, but that's just that just shows you.
No,
that just shows you
good.
Like how people just take ratings way too seriously. How they're just like, well, you gave this not 5 stars. What's up with that? It's just like
7 out of 10. Oh, that means he hates it.
Yeah. This dude gave it a 9 out of 10. What do you fucking hate about this movie? It's just like, Jesus, guys. Like, oh, I don't often say that. Actually, I do say this a lot, actually. Touch grass, for the love of God.
Well, I can't. It's snowing outside.
Oh, yeah.
Cold.
Oh, well.
This makes sense, because this thing has a winter planet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, spoilers.
Oh, that's right. There's a winter planet in Interstellar. So, but you know what? You know what, Mordo? I've been talking a lot. Please take the stage. What did you think of Interstellar?
Dearest Hal, it has come to my attention that you and I did not seem eye to eye on this movie. Therefore, I can no longer feel like I can form a bond with you. So I'm here to tell you that you stink. You are a senile bucktooth. Oh, fuck. I forgot the rest of that letter Homer sent to Mr. Burns. And you smell like an elephant's butt. Fuck you. Love, Mordo.
It seems Mordo did not go gentle into that good night.
Oh my god, that's a quote from the movie.
Yeah. Well, so that's actually a very famous poem. I forget who wrote it originally, but like, yeah, that is one of the most famous like aspects of the movie is Michael Caine narrating that like very famous poem of like, "Do not go gentle into that good night" or something like that. So let me just say that like, I like the movie on a technical level. Like, I think the cinematography is great. Technical foul. I like it on a technical foul. I think the cinematography is great. I think the music is great. I think the acting is very, very good. I assume those are things you like too.
Peter. Let's throw that clip in of Peter. Y'all know the one where he's like 3D. Y'all know if y'all know who's the lead role in this. Matthew McConaughey is terrible.
I'll even say I think Matthew McConaughey is actually very good in the movie. I think
he's good.
As an actor, he's very good.
Every time I just think of Matthew McConaughey, my brain just goes back to that clip of Peter just going, Matthew McConaughey is terrible.
It's a good clip.
It is.
Yeah. So I assume like, the cinematography, the acting, the music, like all of that stuff you like in the movie as well, right? Am I correct in assuming that?
Oh no, yeah, I think this thing had some pretty good visuals, and I kind of I dig the soundtrack a bit.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer, a notable Nolan collaborator. So
that is true.
Yeah, no,
probably would have been better if it was the other guy, but still. No, I'm kidding. They're both good.
Oh yeah, Hans Zimmer, Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, Ludwig.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I feel like I should have known that.
No,
Hans Zimmer is just a more easier name just to recognize.
Yes, yeah. But, Hans, Ludwig, both German names, so.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, how does this movie rank among the other Nolan movies that we've talked about on the podcast? Whether or not we've actually seen them all, like, how do they rank among the movies that we've seen in the podcast for you personally?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like I had the same vibe I got with this as like this is the complete opposite of Tenet to me. Like for real. Like I think like in a way, like when I was first watching it, I wasn't like really all that hooked on it. Like I just thought, okay, I kind of see where Hal was like coming from with this. It's not that all exciting. I don't get the hype for it. But as it went on, it was just like, oh my god, this is getting wild. Oh my god, this is getting... What the... Huh? What? Okay, this is getting insane. What the fuck?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Tenet, because I was making a lot of comparisons to Tenet while watching this. Notably, I watched it a second time, much like I watched Tenet a second time, and I liked it significantly less. But I do feel like this is a better movie than Tenet. I think, even though I think I gave them similar scores, I think this is like a high 5, whereas like Tenet is like a low 5 on my grading scale, of course. Because I feel like what Interstellar does better than Tenet is that I understand the characterization in this movie better. I don't like it, but I think Matthew McConaughey as Cooper is a much better protagonist than the protagonist in Tenet. Like,
never understand why they didn't give him a name.
It's so stupid. Oh,
it is
so stupid. But like, I at least understand what the point of Interstellar was. Like, I know there's a story. I can follow the story. I don't like the story, but I understand what's happening.
I'll be frank. I'll be frank.
Yeah.
I'm Frank. Hi, I'm Frank.
I must be Frank, Your Majesty.
Yeah, there we go. I'll be real with you. I kind of was a bit confused on the story. Like, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
didn't really follow along with it entirely. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I totally understand where you're coming from, the story wise, but at least, like, it wasn't as overly complicated as Tenet.
No, definitely not. No, I agree. I agree. That's why I feel like this movie succeeds better than Tenet, because Tenet was supposed to be like intentionally confusing, whereas I feel like here the confusion just came from, well, to be fair, we're dealing with time travel and space travel. Like, these are inherently difficult things to understand, but I can still follow it somewhat, with it going along. Whereas like with Tenet, yeah, that was intentionally confusing, but there was nothing for me to like grasp onto underneath that intentional confusion. And that's why I feel like, even though I still don't like the story or the characters themselves in Interstellar, I can at least understand why someone would, you know?
Yeah, I also will admit that I kind of thought, like, I guess the way how, like, the characters, like, kind of act towards each other was kind of like, was. I wasn't really vibing with it. Like, I noticed,
Mm-hmm.
like, a bit of, like, I guess, I wouldn't say aggressive, but, like, it just felt like some of these characters just did not like each other.
Well,
Like,
so
it wasn't a healthy bond with these characters when I've had with other works.
yeah, yeah. So I guess we can get into like one of my biggest things that I really did not like was kind of the world building and how these characters interact in this world. Like, a lot of my issues were
Yeah.
coming up in like the first 10 minutes. Not that they don't get along, but that their drama does not feel natural to me. So
No, yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
biggest things to me in like the first 10 minutes. So obviously this is kind of a pseudo future where, like, it's familiarized enough where people are still driving cars that we are familiar with, and like they're still going to schools in these buildings that we're familiar enough with. It's not like a cyberpunk future where like
No?
it's not like a Blade Runner future where like everything's like in a city, all the buildings are tall, and you see these like fucking massive screens of advertisements and stuff like that. It's not cyberpunk future. It's a pseudo future. It's like,
It's just regular everyday life sort of
yes,
future,
yes.
like we're living in now. Oh, actually, did they even give like a year where this is happening in?
No, and I think that's why I call it a pseudo future, because it's not, you don't exactly know when it is, but it's like familiar enough that we as an audience can like relate to the characters, but you can still have sci-fi concepts like traveling into wormholes, or like having drones fly over and it's like an everyday normal occurrence, or the fact that they're living on a planet where there is no army, because they say that there is no military anymore. The military has been completely dissolved. There's dust
Wait, really? I
everywhere.
missed that part.
Yeah, there's like an offhand comment where like where like I think it was Matthew McConaughey is just like there's no more military or something like that. But also like
I think
they're
like didn't they say like I guess like wasn't like NASA like also just like in secret now
yeah, and
or something
NASA's
like that? Yeah,
completely in secret. That's another thing. And
yeah.
like, and also, the whole world is like experiencing like a drought. So you see like dust everywhere. Like everything's dry. Like, like that's why they're like saying like, because there's that scene at the beginning when he goes to a parent teacher conference for Murph, and he's having a conversation with the principal, and the principal's like, we don't need engineers, we need more farmers, because they're at a point in time where, you know they're not interested in space travel, they're interested in, saving the planet and having more farmers, and making the world more environmentally friendly. So anyway, my point is, there's like this there's this weird world building thing that happens where, like, so that at that exact parent teacher conference, Matthew McConaughey's character is talking with like Murph's teacher, and Murph's teacher says something like, "Oh, you're one of those people that believes in like the moon landing or something like that." Like, this is like a
Oh,
small.
great!
This
One
is
of these people.
well, it's such a small thing, but like it really is encompassing towards this world building. We're like, okay, we're living in a future where space travel and scientific discovery of our universe is not held as important as like on Earth problems. This is a thing that has been happening for years, the whole outer space versus inner space debate of like what's more important. Should we be looking for, a planet for us to colonize, or should we save our own planet? Like it's like a debate among like the science community. It's been a debate amongst like the science fiction community. It's like a whole thing. That just pissed me off. The whole like, oh, we don't believe in the moon landing. Like we're trying to make the moon landing seem like propaganda to be like, oh, in the 20th century, they just wanted to bankrupt the Soviet Union by pretending to have a space race. And I'm like, first of all, who the fuck is going to believe that enough to put him in a textbook? Like, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I get what it's trying to say. It's supposed to make the world that these characters inhabit seem almost alien. So then we as an audience can relate to Matthew McConaughey more as a main character, because he's just like, I think space travel's cool. It's like, yeah, me as an audience member, I think space travel's cool. I'm going to relate to Matthew McConaughey now. It's like, I hate that when writing wise. I really
you
do.
also kind of forgetting the risks that kind of come with it.
Well, because like it's so easy to relate to Matthew McConaughey now because he's like, I think space travel's cool. It's like, because like the teacher believes that the moon landing was fake and propaganda. It's like, okay, yeah, any rational human beings are gonna think that's ludicrous.
You know, it's funny that like you're bringing up the idea of like the moon landing was fake and all that, because like off topic, but like I was doing a Gartic phone with some friends of mine and my boyfriend last night, and like I think there was like a prompt that we did where it's like uh Peter Griffin and Brian fakes the moon landing.
It is an inherently funny concept, faking the moon landing.
I think I drew that. Like, hold on,
Yeah.
I'll share. It's nothing like all the top like y'all. Well, I mean, you know what Gartic phone is. My
Yeah.
drawings aren't really that perfect on there,
Mhm.
but yeah. You can keep talking. Let me just find it.
No, that's fine. The thing that always, and like I know it's like such a little thing, but like I don't know, realistically, who would actually believe that the moon landing was faked outside of the most extreme conspiracy theorists? Like that's my biggest problem with the world building here is like we're trying to make the people who oppose what the main characters believe as like these extreme, like the most extreme idiot. And it's like, okay, I don't feel threatened by that. You're kind of making it so that I have no choice but to relate to the main characters. And that's not good character writing. Like, I shouldn't be forced to agree with them. I should naturally agree with them. So, like, when you have the main character say something as basic as, like, I think space travel is cool, that tells me that, like, this is the same kind of writing as if, like, imagine if the teacher or, like, the principal was just like, we think breathing is propaganda. It's like, okay, yeah, no shit. I'm going to relate to Matthew McConaughey when he eventually goes, well, I think breathing is cool. It's like, yeah, wow, what an amazing thing for me to relate to our main character with. He thinks breathing is cool. Like, that is the level that we're at with that. Like, I can't stand that with character writing. Just make me like the main character naturally. Don't make the
give me a more convincing reason why space travel is cool. Don't just say it is.
Right.
Just give me find a fucking essay if you have to. Good lord.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a basic thing that, like, for a character to oppose, I don't know. When it's such a basic thing for a character to oppose, that's when I'm like, okay, now I know you're forcing me to relate to Matthew McConaughey as a main character. It's like, I don't care that he thinks space travel is cool. And like, I'm not even really a huge fan of the whole, like, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the whole, like, oh, we were never meant to die on Earth. Like, we have to find a colony out in space. It's like, I don't really agree with that. But at the same time, fine, whatever. Like, if that's what the main character believes, that's what the main character believes. I'm not going to, like, dock the movie points for that. What I am going to dock the movie points for is making his opposition seem like idiots. Like, no, they're wrong. The main character's right. Matthew McConaughey was proven right all along. He was going to go into space now. Because
Matthew McConaughey's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, the character Matthew McConaughey plays is kind of terrible. But, like, I feel like the movie sort of understands that, but also doesn't understand that, you know, because he does abandon his family to go travel in space. which is fine. I'm not opposed to him having character flaws. And in fact, the movie does. I sort of like the idea of having that scene later on when he's like when he's in that realm where like he can actually see moments in time in Murph's bedroom, and he's like on the other side and he's like screaming at Murph to be like, no, let him stay, let him stay.
Dude, honestly, like, I think, like I said earlier, and I kind of agree with, actually, not kind of agree with what you said. Like I said earlier, I was not feeling the first half of this movie, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, the more it went on, my interest kind of peaked, and then when he entered like the fifth dimension realm, and I realized, oh, that's the back of the bookcase.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was the ghost.
Yeah, he was the ghost.
That blew my fucking holy shit.
I think from a writing standpoint, that makes sense. Like, you don't just have Murph at the beginning be like, I saw a ghost, and then never follow up on that. Like, like having him be the ghost. I'm not opposed to that. My thing is that I don't think the movie earns that, because the beginning kind of does a sloppy job at, establishing this world and making me relate to these characters. So then by the time we get to that scene where he's like when he's having that emotional moment where he's like, I should have stayed with her, like, I don't know, to me that does not feel earned. I can see that feeling earned for other people who enjoyed this movie, and that's completely valid. I don't want people to think they shouldn't like this movie. I'm just saying what I got out of the movie experience, like when I watched it. This is my experience.
Yeah, I think, like, yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I kind of thought when I watched it before talking with you, I kind of thought like, yeah, this thing has some flaws in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the later half kind of like made it better for me.
Yes.
So I kind of was like debating if I wanted to give this either like an 8 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Well, so yeah, I can definitely. I think while I was watching it, I'm like, okay, if you can relate to these characters, or if you can like overlook these flaws in the beginning, you're gonna have a better time than me, and that's completely valid. Like I said, and I will agree. Like, from a technical standpoint, I think the movie looks amazing. It sounds amazing. Like, when they're on those different planets, they actually look like they're on alien planets. Like, I think that's really cool. Like that water planet.
I thought it was like an interesting like concept. Like, okay, there's a possibility of like a multiverse out there. I feel like I don't know if that's what they were going with, but I mean,
I don't think it's necessarily multiverse. I think it's just opposite ends of our own universe, right? Like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
that's a better way to explain it.
Well, yeah, no, I am by no means an expert in like space travel and like what the hell they're even fucking talking about. I mean, they're talking about.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, because like,
no, like I said, like I
this.
can't understand all this space science stuff y'all are talking about. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure like I can somewhat understand you somewhat, but not entirely.
Well, because I was thinking about this. Nobody understands Tenet. I don't even think Christopher Nolan understands Tenet.
Well, no. Why do you think that fucking bike exorcist lady was like? That was a waste of my time.
Oh, yeah. You said, for those who don't know, yeah, Mordo sent me a discussing film article saying like Christopher Nolan says his Peloton instructor slammed one of his movies during a class. It doesn't say which movie, but like you can kind of
like if you like. I think like the one I saw was like a discussing film tweet, and then the tweet under it saying like it was Tenet.
Yeah,
and I'm like, of course it was Tenet. Thank you, God.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I don't understand space travel. Duh. I'm a guy who just likes movies. I don't understand the science that goes into that. So I'm not gonna like.
I think movies are cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dock the movie points because I don't understand the science that goes into it, because I really don't. I'm just viewing the movie for what it is. And if it's not going to explain these things very well, I don't know. I don't have the smarts to like, own the movie on whether it does these things correctly or not. I really don't. I'm just judging it for what I got out of it. And there was a lot of big words, and man, I wish I understood those big words better, Like I really do. I really fucking do. You know what's interesting though? Is I rewatched Oppenheimer a couple days ago, the other Nolan movie that we've talked about on the podcast, which
Hell yeah.
Oppenheimer talks a lot about quantum physics and, developing the atomic bomb. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but Oppenheimer was a movie that got better for me on rewatch. When I rewatched it, like I thought it was much better the second time around than it was the first time. Like I loved Oppenheimer my second time around. Like holy shit. And I just think that's
3
interesting.
years later, rewatches it again. Yeah, no, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something to Oppenheimer that I connected more with it upon my second viewing, more so than I did my second viewing of Interstellar. I think that's interesting.
I will say, like, yeah, I'm actually glad that, like, it did get better to you, and just a fucking relief off of the weight of my shoulders to think, okay, thank God, I've not completely lost Hal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I want to make it clear. Like, just because I was not a fan of Interstellar does not mean I'm completely turned off of Nolan. Like, again, Oppenheimer, really good film. Memento, I still love Memento. I do need to rewatch it though because like I really want to because it's so good.
Watch, he's gonna hate it.
Well, I think one of the reasons why I think I'll be fine with Memento is because Memento is a confusing movie, but not in its content. Like you remember when we watched it, like it's a mystery thriller. Like it's a mystery. Like It's just a movie about a guy figuring out who murdered his wife. The confusing aspect comes in its storytelling. Like, but that's the point because the guy has like a short-term memory. So like he's not gonna remember everything. So things are gonna get very confusing. But the core story is simplistic enough for you to follow. Whereas I feel like something like Interstellar, I think the story is a little too confusing. It's not as bad as Tenet when it comes to the confusing nature. Like Tenet again is like obnoxiously confusing because that's the point. But again, it's still confusing. Whereas Interstellar, I at least respect the idea that there is that core relationship between Cooper and Murphy. So I'm able to sort of forgive it enough, but not enough for me to admit that I got anything that substantial out of it,
Yeah. I do kind of like the relationship with his family. Like, I think, like, when it came to that scene where he's like, when his son was growing up, because his messages spanned for like 23 years, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And then I kind of just like broke down, just being like, Jesus Christ, it's so insane how like time just moves more faster than on Earth. And to think that you were gone for that long and you don't even know it, I don't know, it just fucks with you.
I do like the relationship between Cooper and Murphy, like his daughter.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best parts about it.
But I'm not a fan of Tom. Not because I don't like him as a character. I don't like how the movie treats Tom. I'll say that.
No, I agree. Like, I thought he was okay at first, and then like when that scene happened where Murph was trying to get his family out of there, he just became a dick out of the blue. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? What the fuck happened to you?
Well, so early on in the movie, when Cooper's leaving to go, travel through space, John Lithgow, his father-in-law, Lord Farquaad's his father-in-law. Funny.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because that's like, wait, why does this dude's voice sound familiar? And I just had to look him up, see what he had to date, and I'm like, Lord fucking Farquaad. Buddy, what?
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
that's really just Kane's character in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. But
Speaking
anyway,
of Kane, it's good to see him actually in an actual role for once, and not just like a 5-minute cameo.
Yeah, no,
like Tenet.
I love John Lithgow. Oh, we were talking about Michael Caine. Yeah, no, Michael Caine plays a bigger role in this movie than fucking Tenet. Like, yeah. But
it's so good to see him in an actual role for once. Like, good
exactly.
Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
I missed you.
What I'm saying is there's that scene early on when he's actually leaving and he says goodbye to John Lithgow, and John Lithgow's like, you don't have to say goodbye to Tom, he can handle it. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, or like he's basically saying like you shouldn't be worried about Tom, you should be worried about Murph. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. Like, I know it's basically a tactic for the audience to be like, oh, we don't have to worry about Tom. He's not the important character here. But it's still just like you're casting aside another child of his, but because he's not the main child. Like, you want Murph to be the main child. It's like, okay, why don't you just have Murph be the only child? Like, why does there need to be a Tom in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does Tom add to the movie outside of being a twist villain at one point, which is really stupid?
Like, nothing really. Like, you could just remove him entirely. It probably wouldn't make any lick of sense.
I mean, the only thing is he's played by Timothée Chalamet at the beginning, and I guess this kind of launched Timothée Chalamet's career, so I guess we wouldn't have him in Dune.
That name sounds familiar. What did he do?
He's in Dune. He's Paul Atreides in the new Dune movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's also in Little Women and Lady Bird. Is he in Lady Bird? I think he's in Lady Bird. He's been around. He's been around. Oh, he was also in the recent Wonka movie that I didn't see.
Oh yeah, yeah, and didn't he like show up at the Game Awards?
Did he? I don't know. Maybe.
No, yeah, that's right. He was revealing like the Game of the Year. Like, I thought you were there. Didn't you watch it?
I've only watched when Gonzo was there. That's all I remember from the Game Awards.
No, I agree. It wasn't even a good Game Awards anyway. But no, yeah, he was like there. Like, he was the one who announced the Game of the Year.
Oh, and I remember Matthew McConaughey was there at the Game Awards, just randomly. He was announcing like some space movie he's part of, and then they played the trailer, and you didn't see Matthew
another
McConaughey
space movie. Are you kidding me?
Well, not in the space movie, Space Game. Sorry, but game, okay. When they played the trailer, they didn't. You couldn't really tell like which character he was, but he just comes out on stage. He's like, "Thank you, Jeff Keighley. All right. Space Game. I'm in it." And we're just like, "Oh, Interstellar 2." It's not Interstellar 2, but like, you know, it's just like it's a space thing with Matthew McConaughey in it. But like, I don't. That was just weird because like he's like a celebrity promoting this game because he's in the game, but then they didn't show him in the trailer. Like, at least I'm pretty sure in the Cyberpunk trailer they showed Keanu, like what character he played, right?
No, yeah, of course. And his character design looks completely obviously looking like Keanu.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just such a weird trailer. It was a weird moment. Like, clearly, I'm not made for watching award shows. Even the Game Awards, I was not a fan of. But I do think Gonzo being there was based as fuck.
It wasn't a good Game Awards. I didn't have fun. I was not vibing with it.
No. Just like how I wasn't vibing with Interstellar.
Shut up. Okay, fair. Oh yeah, he was in French Dispatch as well. That's a movie I've seen.
Oh right, Timothée Chalamet. He was in French Dispatch. Right. So yeah. He's been around. He was in Interstellar. That was like one of his first big roles. Like, big
he was in Don't Look Up. All right, feeling myself.
Yeah, that was that's not a good movie he was in.
No, it wasn't.
Well, controversial take. I do think Interstellar is better than Don't Look Up.
All right, that I'm with you with.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Oh yeah, same. I'm sure a lot of people will, and if not, the fuck's wrong with you?
The fuck's wrong with you? Anyway,
human.
Moving on. I just have a couple more things I want to say. I feel like that are important enough. I do like the TARS effect, like the character of TARS, that robot thing. I think that's fucking awesome. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a practical effect. Like, they built that thing to like actually move around, and like it looked amazing. And the voice they have, the voice actor does a really good job at being like this sarcastic like asshole, but like you still buy him as a robot, you know?
Sentient AI robots was not on my Nolan bingo card, but sure.
Yeah. Fun fact about the voice actor, Bill Irwin plays him. He's the dad in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the bad Ron Howard one.
Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, the Jim Carrey one. He's he's Cindy Lou Who's father in that movie.
Lamau, it's amazing. Anything else he's known for, or is that the only thing you know him for?
That's the only other thing. I think he was in Lady in the Water, but like, does he really want to be known as being one of the people in Lady in the Water? Because I wouldn't want to be.
No. It's I'm gonna look at discography. Yeah, no, I don't see any other movie here that like I would know of him for besides Interstellar and Grinch.
Honestly, Interstellar and Grinch, I think that's a pretty good career.
That's where he peaked.
But I really like the robot effect on Tars, how he's like walking around, and even when it's a little obvious that it's CGI, like, or I don't think it's Tars, I think it's Case, the other robot that moves around.
No, yeah, there's Tars and there's Case, and I think there's like the other one that Man had.
Yeah, that Matt Damon had. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
that's Matt Damon.
That was Matt Damon as Dr. Man.
Oh,
yes.
fuck, that's right. He's in this. I completely forgot Matt Damon was in this movie.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really like those robots. I think the design is cool. I think the effect is cool. I think they have some of the best lines throughout the movie because I don't know, just something about robot characters in sci-fi movies. I don't know, like just even like robot characters in sci-fi movies I'm not the biggest fan of usually end up being my favorite characters in a movie. In that respective movie. I think back to like K2SO and Rogue One. Like that's a robot character who's honestly one of my favorite parts of that movie, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Rogue One. Just because
Yeah, I was like going to say, like, I didn't think I'd see you speak positively about Rogue One, because I don't think that was a movie a lot of people didn't like.
I mean, Rogue One was another example of a movie I remember watching in theaters, thinking it was really good, and then I watched a second time, and I'm like, oh. But you know, this is why I always say rewatch movies. Like, watch movies a second time. Because, like, yes, watching a movie for the first time is a fun experience. But you need to rewatch movies. Here's an example of, like, a rewatch that was actually positive. Earth Girls Are Easy. Like, I didn't like that movie the first time I watched it. But then I watched it again with you and William. And I loved it. Like, and then I watched it a third time. I loved it even more. Like, it's a movie that gets better on rewatch, you know. So it's important.
We should have been talking about this. That's a sci-fi film.
I know, but we needed to talk about Interstellar because it's a Nolan film.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyway,
that could have been the other one.
I wanted to talk about Buzz Lightyear, but we'll get to that.
That's fair. No, yeah. We still have stuff to talk about Interstellar. I still have shit I want to gush about before we get to that.
You know what? Yeah, I feel like I've been talking. Please gush some more.
Okay, yeah. So I guess, So I'm sure you all have heard like Hal's thoughts on it. He wasn't a big fan on it, but me on the other hand, I will say though, I kind of take back what I said about this being a civil rivalry because I will admit. I do kind of agree with some of the things he's been saying here. I think he's been making some good, valid arguments. Because like I said before, I wasn't really vibing with it entirely at first, but as it went on, like, my interest started to peak a little more, and I think, like, I was just left flabbergasted by the end of it.
Yeah.
But,
you're willing to find more positive things in it than I am, and I think that's a good thing. Like, you should be able to.
Like, I'm more of an easy to please person than I guess you are.
Sure.
I think, yeah, that's the thing. Well, I come from like two different like friend groups where one is more critical in like, about movies and stuff like that, which you guys, and then I have my other friends that are more open and more easy to please. I guess like as my friend Sora would say, because I did invite one of my friends from Sora server into the Wheel Knight server, a good friend of mine named ZP, and I remember he did mention that he kind of liked Ready Player One, and most of us don't like it, and so I just had to tell him, hey, oh yeah, ZP, I should tell you, in this world, we're very critical on movies. So I should warn you.
Yeah.
We might have different opinions on something.
Well,
but I'm like in the balance in the middle.
Yeah. And I don't want people to listen to this and think like, oh, now I have to hate Interstellar because Hal hates it. It's like, no, I think.
Don't take our words as gospel.
Right. And I'm glad you ended up liking the movie more than I did. I think that's important. Like, if you genuinely got something out of it that I didn't, that's a good thing. Like, hold on to that. Absolutely.
I do agree with you with its flaws, though. I do believe, like, this movie is flawed in a way and, isn't, like, a perfect, like, 10 out of 10. Like, if, like I said before, like, I kind of, like, really was, like, debating, like, giving this, like, a 7 or 8. But I gave it an 8 just for the second half and how it like I said, this movie was wild to me. This movie was probably the most wild Nolan film I've like seen.
It does have very good visuals. I think this is some of the some of the best like space visuals in a movie. I mean, I'm
Oh
more
yeah.
partial to, like 2001, but I do think this movie does get a lot of visuals very good. Like again, I think the cinematography is excellent. I think on a technical level, this is a very good film.
And you know what? That's fair. I think like
Mhm.
you gave this like 2.5
Yeah,
stars. So
straight
it's
down the middle. I think
5 out of 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
5 out of 5. Yeah.
Just average. Just between average. That's fine.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. Like that's not a terrible movie. That's not. I don't consider this a waste of time. In fact, I'm glad we've watched it. I will. I feel like whenever I've had guests on and we talk about a movie and I end up not liking it, but they did. They always try to apologize. Like, oh, sorry, I made you go through that. It's like, no, I'm glad I watched this. Like, I'm glad we watched this, not just because we want to dock off another Nolan film on our Nolan quest, but like, again, that whole rewatching thing. Like, I want to know what I actually think about a film, and I feel like I can't figure that out after just one watch. It needs to be multiple.
And then again, like when was the you last saw this, like what, 2020?
Yeah, 2020.
So of course
Like,
you're not gonna remember everything about the film by
I
now
was
if you didn't rewatch it.
yeah, and I was a very different critical mind. I had a very different critical mind back in the day. I was critical, but I wasn't as critical as I am now. And I'm not.
Yeah.
And again, like I don't want people to be like scared of me because I'm a critical person. Like, like just because they have different opinions than me, that's a good thing. Like I'm literally all it is that I'm just saying what I saw. Like I'm relaying what my thoughts are to the general masses.
I mean, he may be critical, folks, but I gotta tell you, he's a pretty fun guy to have around.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oh no, yeah, you're probably like one of my, dude, you're like a bestie to me.
Aw, thanks. It's just because we have the same opinions on Faust.
True. Amen to that.
Yeah, because people like Yinsid and Olivia would not say that about me when discussing Faust.
Well, they don't know you long enough like I do.
Yeah. They're my friends,
No,
but then they
no
remember
offense to
what I
them.
gave Faust, and they're like,
Oh, this motherfucker.
this motherfucker.
Oh, this guy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Ain't you ever seen my train collect? Metal type sound effect. All right, yeah. I will say though, like, I guess it didn't like really hit me until like later on, being like, oh shit, this world is like fucking dying. I just figured like they were talking about like, we can't live on this planet and like forever. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's fair. The world's probably gonna end one day. That's where we all need to find like an escape of something like that. And then it just hit me like, oh wait, that's right now. The world's like kind of like dying like right now as we speak. So they're in a hurry.
There was a little Spanish flea.
I think it should be fine. All right. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Previously on the last incident, my thing just stopped recording because I was running out of storage on the Steam laptop. I didn't want to like record on here, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
like the Steam Deck was picking up the fact that my microphone was connected. But no, yeah, I think like before like my audio stopped recording, I was saying like, oh yeah, this plan is like dying like right now, so they need to like work on it fast, even though like they've been there for like 100 years in like Earth time.
Yeah, they've been like out and about, and like that's why Jessica Chastain, who's now playing Murph, is like, she's trying to be the one to save the planet, because at first she's like very cynical about it, because she's like, oh, they abandoned us. But through unconditional love, she's like, no, I believe in my father helping me, and he like sends her.
I believe in
time.
Santa Christ.
I believe in Santa Christ. Essentially. I can explain it in in-depth detail, but basically, we believe in Santa Christ. That's how the movie. That's
Amen.
how the day is saved in Interstellar. They believed in Santa Christ. God, I love Kick-Ass. Yeah.
True. God, I love Dog Walker. Wait, what?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and I feel like that's where the heart of the movie is at. Is the relationship between Murph and Cooper. And if you're into that, that's great. You're going to love this movie. If you're like me and you're not into that, you know. But I at least respect the attempt, because the movie actually does attempt to have heart in the story. A lot of movies can't even do that. They don't even attempt. Like Tenet, they didn't attempt to have heart in the story. Like, what am I supposed to relate to?
About?
Yeah. Oh, it was no. Actually, there was heart. It was between a man and his hot sauce that he ordered an hour ago.
Oh yes, of course. That's what the plot should have been.
Yeah.
That's probably our best bit we ever got out of Tenet.
Oh, I love that hot sauce.
True. I wonder what it would taste like.
Probably hot
and spicy.
Yeah. I did want to actually. I do. This actually does involve something that I wanted to talk about. This is a question I want to ask you. When you watched Interstellar, did you watch the version that's 170 minutes or the version that's 163 minutes?
I guess this is a good time to talk about that. I bought the DVD.
Yeah. So you have it on DVD. I don't. But please talk about it.
Oh, yeah, okay. So this is a rare occasion where I'm the one talking about the DVD and not Hal, because he does not own it. Because, well, here's the thing. I had no idea how to watch this movie. It was not on a streaming service. It was not on any streaming service that I have access to. It's not even on Max, because I thought it would be on Max, because it's also somewhat a Warner movie, but also under Paramount as well. So... It's funny that he also brought up Earth Girls Are Easy earlier, because I recently bought the Blu-ray and DVD for that, like the original DVD, just to compare the two, which we'll probably talk about in a later episode.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Maybe with William, I hope so. That'd be a fun threesome. Don't take that out of context.
William on too many movies? Surely you jest.
Yeah, no, crazy, right? But, yeah, so, the thing about that is that I had like two $50 Target gift cards, the only money I had, and I was lucky to buy both of them on Target, which I was surprised about. I also found out they also had Bud the Chud on there, but that was like $20.
Oh,
yeah,
someday.
Someday I'm gonna get that, because that's another Vestron film I ought to own. But I think like there's a thing Target does where like, for some items you add in your cart, you have to be like, you have to reach like a $35 limit in order to just make your purchase. So like, all right, what else do I have to buy? What else do I have to buy? Oh, yeah. I can see they have Interstellar on here, and they do have like a DVD copy of it. I'm just like, yeah, good enough. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and then I bought like Mutant Mayhem on Blu-ray because I wanted to, because I like that film. Fuck you, fight me.
Yeah. No, you know what? I have a Target story like that similarly. How they have like you can't buy something like, cuz like I tried buying CIA Ape on DVD off target.com, future episode. And so then but they wouldn't let me without like making it like a 25, like I had to buy it if I had like an order of $25 or more. So I bought the entirety of Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray. Like I have like this Blu-ray set of Planet of the Apes. Again, future episode. But yeah, that's like my famous Target story of like I wasn't allowed to buy CIA Ape. Like most people would buy Planet of the Apes and then CIA Ape secondly, but no, I was there to buy CIA Ape on DVD. But then Planet of the Apes was just an extra thing, like, which is fine. Like, you know, Planet of the Apes. I mean, I've seen all those movies. I have varying opinions. Again, future episode. But yeah, no, that's such a weird thing Target does. But
no, yeah.
Whatever.
So yeah, I bought the DVD, and honestly, I don't like how they released this. I'm not because well, the DVD has nothing. There's no bonus features. It's a bare bones. It's boring as shit. I don't even think it's I don't even think like it has like the IMAX like footage where it fills the whole screen. I just seen like the normal black bar view only. There was like, so I probably have to buy like the Blu-ray if I want to like experience like the IMAX cut of the film. And and also like it menu was also kind of like boring. Like it did like that shot of like the bookshelf, right? And then it cuts to like this starry like this space with all these stars, and it's just like Interstellar, and you have the option at the bottom. And then like after I clicked off of the menu, I resumed back to it. Like there was no like the visuals just paused. There was no audio or anything coming afterwards like that, and I just like, well, that's just
This sounds
Spook.
bizarre.
That's just spooky. I don't like how you give the menu like animation, and then like after I leave off that menu and return back to it, you just give me a frozen screen. Like I that's just spooks the shit out of me when it does that. But yeah, so I wish there was an option I could have bought the Blu-ray on Target, but I was only able to get the DVD, so I'm just like, you know what, I just got to get this movie just to watch it.
Well, what's the runtime on the back of the box? What does the runtime say?
It says 168.
Okay, interesting. Because so I watched it on Amazon Prime, and I wanted to bring this up because Amazon Prime, for some reason, has two options to watch it. One of them is 170 minutes. The other one is 163 minutes. And I'm like, okay. I looked it up. Nolan does not believe in the director's cut, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, there's a director's cut. But no, he was like, no, the version that is released in theaters is the version that is mine. Like, he doesn't believe in director's cut. He believes in whatever version you see is the definitive cut. So I'm like, okay, then why are there two versions here? So I looked it up, and I found a post on r/Interstellar from 3 months ago.
So is this the Reddit thing you were telling me about off recording? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a post that says, is there a difference between these versions on Prime? I don't notice anything in the metadata. And so I was like, sometimes I've looked up questions, and like Reddit has answered these questions pretty significantly, and I appreciate that. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe somebody in the comments here will explain this. No. Like they're all just trolling and being complete dickheads in the comments. They're just like, oh, Matt Damon wins in one of those, and like, they're quoting like, there isn't a moment, or there is a moment, because that's the last line he says before he explodes in the movie.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right. I think like off topic, but like I do like how some shots where they're outside of, like, we see like shots of like outside of space. It's like silent. You don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's completely quiet.
It's just amazing. I kind of like that. Like, cool. Sure, like, you hear like this weird ambient noise outside, but like, no, it's just completely silent. And then like when he died, like, that kind of like caught me off guard. Like, holy shit! And the silence just adds to that impact in a way.
There's one comment that says,
I just had to rewind that, but like, damn, that was crazy.
In one of these comments, there's a comment here that says, in one of them, Murph isn't nearly as smart, and she just thinks the stupid watch is busted, and everyone on Earth dies. All right, that's good. But I guess it's a mystery. We'll never know why there are two versions of Interstellar on Amazon Prime, one of them being 170 minutes, the other being 163. I watched the 170-minute version just because when it comes to movies, I kind of prefer watching the longer version just to see if like I get anything out of them. But like, sometimes it is best to watch the shorter version. I know people will say, director's cuts are always better, but like, sometimes you didn't need those extra scenes. All I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe if I do buy the Blu-ray, maybe like it'll probably have that longer version. I don't know.
Maybe. Well,
I hope so.
I don't know. Maybe I really don't know why they're different times. I really don't. It's weird. So, is there anything else we have to say about Interstellar? I think I've pretty much said all I needed to say. Like, there are little things I could complain about, like nitpicky stuff, but like, honestly, I think I've made it clear that like, it's just a movie I didn't really connect with. I'm glad there are people out there who do connect with it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's not one for me that I would definitely consider to be a favorite from Nolan.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But I think like I have like a little bit to say of it, but like
Right. So yeah, you can finish off, like, say whatever you want about it. I've pretty much said everything I need to.
So it's showing like, I guess like I just like find it so interesting how like how these planets just have like somewhat a different element to it. Like they're like on a water planet. Like there's nothing but like an endless sea, right? Just like these waves. And and I just feel like to think this planet exists and there's like some sort of life on it with like water and stuff like that, like, makes you wonder like what really happened to it. Like, were these like ever planets at all? Like, what made these exist in a way? Like, it's just like interesting how like, and there's like the winter one, Like, how do these planets get made? And like, how do they like, um, how they like? Was there any life on it at all? Whatever happened here? I guess that's why I thought like this felt like maybe like a multiverse or thing. Like, I wonder if these is like a different types of variants of Earth that may have existed.
Mm.
But like, I guess we just never know, and just knowing
Yeah.
that people were here, like they're light years away from Earth, and they've either like died or just was like lost here. Like with Man, for example, like they found him on the Winter Planet, and he's just been here for like I don't know, like God knows how long,
Mhm.
and just. And I also don't understand how the sleeping things work. Like they're put in water, like they're put in this water and like in this pod, like, bro, you guys are gonna drown. How do you all sleep in that?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
That confused the
it's
fuck out of me,
supposed
honestly.
yeah, it's supposed to be like a sleeping chamber. So like, while they're traveling for light years, like, they stay the same age while in those pods. So then, it's just a matter of like uh it's just a matter of them like staying the same age while they travel like light years and light years away from Earth, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's fair. I guess maybe keep like the body fresh or something like that. But like
Yeah,
again, like
yeah.
I guess it was like so bizarre to think like you guys are sleeping in water. Aren't you guys gonna
But
drown? That's the
you
thing.
gotta
Like some of
remember.
the science in this kind of confuses me.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you got to remember, like light year. That means it's like it takes light. That was unintentional, I swear. But like it's based light year. That measurement of time is like it's taking light, the fastest known thing that we know. Like the speed of light is like one of the fastest things we know. It takes that a year. So like to think of like 700 light years away is like it would take light 700 years to go from like one end of space to the other. But like again, light is faster than any human on Earth. So like how fast, like how, like imagine that. Like that's insane to think about. Like
Yeah.
just the amount of space, the amount of time it would take. So of course, you want to preserve because we would not make it very far.
Honestly, I just think maybe it just wasn't best if they were just if they were like in a freezing chamber, like Fry.
Yeah. Like Fry, yeah,
At least he
exactly.
didn't drown. His body was just frozen. He didn't sleep in water for like thousands of years.
Icy wiener. Ah, crud.
I tried to do like a challenge myself to watch like one episode of Futurama per day when the new year started, but I already failed it.
You
I need-
failed.
No, I'll probably just catch up and be like, what? I still kept the challenge. No. Just
You
to let it
failed
just be like,
Futurama 2024.
bruh. I don't know. I just thought it was fun because, like, the first episode is supposed to be like, the new year. It's
Yeah.
a new year episode, so I figured like,
Here's
oh,
to another lousy millennium.
hell yeah. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, enough of that. But yeah, like I said, I think some of the science shit in here kind of like confuses me. Like, it's definitely like a story like I can't completely understand, but I somewhat get. Again,
Mhm.
not as confusing as Tenet, which
No.
thank God. So like again, I did agree with like you said right there. Like I think the story isn't all that great, and like it's totally like I think I definitely see some flaws in this, but I still had an enjoyable time with it. I wonder what this would have been like if I did watch it with you, like we did with Tenet. If I did have like the same thoughts as you, because you just kept telling me, and you're just like nodding my head, being like, yeah, this movie's shit. But I think like now that makes you wonder like what I would have thought of Tenet if I watched it on my own. Like, would I liked it more without having a bitch in my ear?
Well,
No offense. But then again, like, I don't know.
Man, Tenet's pretty good when Hal's not nagging like a bitch. Actually, you know what? That is an interesting thought experiment. I think you should watch Tenet again to like really, because you'd be rewatching it. Like I
No,
think that's actually a very interesting idea.
Yeah, I guess maybe just to experiment with that. I don't know. I have to buy
Yeah.
a physical copy of it first.
Right,
I try to
exactly.
I want to try to like own every Nolan film like on a physical release. And I mean,
I think that would be cool.
no, yeah, definitely. But I really need to buy the Blu-ray of Interstellar. I hear that thing has actual bonus features, but like I just don't like how they just did not give a shit for the DVD. Like bare bones. I don't think there was even a bonus disc. Just
Yeah, I feel like an Interstellar Blu-ray would probably be right up your alley.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel like the Blu-ray would probably be better packaged.
And yeah, and I also would probably have the IMAX visuals. Like I'd see like in the IMAX ratio. That way I'd see like the scenes in a cooler aspect ratio, because I didn't get that in the DVD version. So
No.
if you guys want to see the IMAX cut, don't buy the DVD. Don't make the same mistake I did. I only did it because I was desperate to just get the film out of the way.
Right,
and nowhere else to watch it. But yeah, like I was really kind of hell, even speaking of confusing, like I was also kind of like confused for a second, like why is Matt Dice, the Matt Damon character, like just turning against them all of a sudden? Like what the fuck's going on? What was that about?
Yeah,
I don't want to get home, right? But
I think it's explained that he's just crazy. Like he's just like, oh, I've been alone for so long, I just want to go back home. So like he's doing anything to get back home.
Okay,
like,
then come home with us, stupid.
I know, he's just like, even he's admitting like he's selfish, because like at one point like Matthew McConaughey's like, you're selfish, man, and he's like, yeah, I know, like I'm a human. But it's just like, I don't know, like just because you admit it doesn't mean it's good writing. Like it's still stupid. Yeah, I don't know. Just I know like what those movies saying like, oh, we're humans, we act irrationally, but it's like some of us act logically. He's a scientist, for crying out loud. Like I don't know, like it's for forced drama. That's the thing. But I mean, Matt Damon's still a good actor, so.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Like he peaked when he was in Aardvark.
Matt Damon Aardvark.
We're never living that bit down.
No, never.
No, yeah. I think like when it came, I think like back to what I said earlier about Michael Caine like actually finally being a role for once. It really just feels good to see him in an actual like acting role again, instead of just like the cameo he had in Tenet. Especially in a movie that wasn't Dear Dictator. Like, good lord, what the fuck was that? God.
Oh, we will never forget Dear Dictator.
Jesus Christ. I think that had to be Buster's series finale watching movies, honestly. I remember like he would just not stop bitching about it. No offense, buddy.
That is one of the angriest I've ever heard Buster was during Dear Dictator.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we watched 8 Crazy Nights, so
How was he during that?
He was not happy, but he was even angrier with Dear Dictator.
That's amazing.
Which, look, I don't blame them. Like, Dear Dictator is a bad movie. I'm just saying, we will never, ever forget watching Seth Green go hog wild on Katie Holmes' toes.
Wait, was that in Dear Dictator?
That was in Dear Dictator, with Seth Green like sucking on Katie Holmes' toes. That was the breaking point. That's when we were like, oh, it's this movie. That was the movie with like
the foot guy?
That was the foot guy movie, yeah.
Why did I think oh god, why did I think Dr. Love was the foot guy?
No, Dr. Love. No, Dr. Love was in Earth Girls Are Easy. That movie's based.
Yeah, no, but like I remember like there was like a movie we watched that I'm like, oh, it's like this dentist foot guy motherfucker. And I'm just like, why did I think it was like from Earth Girls this whole time?
No,
I realized
because Seth Green was a dentist in Dear Dictator.
That's
Dr.
right.
Love is a doctor. He's a medical practitioner in Earth Girls Are Easy. That's Charles Rocket. Charles Rocket is the actor.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought that, because like we were watching it like on the last day of the year, and I'm just like, oh wait, doesn't this ain't this dude have like a foot fetish or some shit? And I'm like, no, I'm thinking of another movie.
Yeah, no. Dear Dictator is the foot fetish movie. Earth Girls Are Easy is the based movie.
True.
I'm glad we established this.
Hell yeah. But no, yeah, it's just really good. I don't know. It just feels like a good relief just watching a movie where Michael Caine actually has a real fucking role for once.
I agree.
Yeah.
And he does a very good job. He's very good in the movie.
Yeah, it was kind of a shame. Like he had a dude. What is it with Caine being in Nolan films? I feel like Alfred's just have an identity, just switch, just going on. Yeah, I think it was a multiverse. And Caine's just in there. His main role is Alfred, but for the most part, he just has different personalities.
Ooh, a Christopher Nolan multiverse movie where Alfred, his role in Interstellar meet, and then his role in Tenet meets them, and then his role in Inception meets them, and then his role in Dunkirk, it's just the disembodied plane radio, just his voice on the plane radio.
my god. No, I just think like maybe just Alpha just has a bunch of like roles that he has to do with when he's not becoming a butler. It's just like
Yeah.
why does no one just bring this dude back? He's known in other films of his. It's just like you can't think of any other person. You just gotta kind of reuse the same actors. No offense.
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
I'm just joshing about it.
yeah. If a director has a good relationship with an actor, you know what? It's like when Nolan brings back Cillian Murphy. Like, you
Yeah,
know, he's
I
in
thought it
the
was Cillian
Batman
Murphy.
movies. It keeps changing. I feel like Killian's more Irish, but I mean,
I thought you said
you know
Killing
what?
Murphy.
You know what? I'll say both. Cillian Murphy or Killian Murphy.
Okay,
He's in Inception. He's in the Batman movies. He's in Dunkirk, and he's in Oppenheimer.
true.
But I can at least distinguish him as different characters. Whereas I feel like whenever Michael Caine shows up, not saying that Michael Caine isn't a bad actor, but I feel like when he shows up, I'm still just like, oh, that's Michael Caine.
Oh, hey, dictator.
Whereas, yeah. Oh, here. Hey, dear dictator. Yeah. What's up?
Dictator guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So.
was kind of like a shame just to see like his character passing, but I think the scene after that with Murph just saying like, you knew this, didn't you? Like, I just got chills
Yeah.
saying like, what is happening? What the
Yeah.
fuck is happening? What did he mean to ride? Why is Murph
Yeah.
like sounding so sinister right now? I was like,
Again, the
that's
acting is very good. I'm
that's
not a
when I
fan of the dialogue, but I'm a fan of the delivery.
yeah, no, yeah, that's when I realized like this movie's getting like fucking wild. Like,
Mhm.
I don't and it just gets more wilder as it goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure.
I think like especially like when the whole like when I don't even know how the fuck how Cooper even ended up in like in the fifth dimension realm sort of thing. It was kind of like a shame being like, wait, why did he just leave like Anne Hathaway like that? I thought they were getting home together. Why did you ditch him like that? What the fuck?
Yeah. Again, it's not on the same level as Tenet, but the confusing stuff in the second half is the reason why I'm not entirely a fan of it. Again,
I'm
something
hooked,
like
but yet
Memento,
still confuzzled.
right? Something like Memento, something like Oppenheimer. Even when those get confusing, I'm still there for the ride because what I do understand, I really, really like. So.
Yeah, but no, like I think like yeah, but like when trying to phrase that, but no, when it came to him being in the fifth dimension realm and seeing like, oh, that's the back of the bookshelf. Like I said, it just keeps getting more wild. That's the way I can just describe this movie. This movie is wild, and just
Yeah.
seeing him realizing he was the ghost this whole time. Oh my god, that is. It is it's like how he can just revert back to any sort of time within that shelf, messing with like Murph with knocking the books down and stuff like that, and the Morse code. And
Yeah.
I thought when at first when she was saying like the message reads "stay," I just figured okay, she's just saying that, just being delusional. No, he typed that out. He typed that out for her, which just blew my mind. And I'm just here just thinking to myself, please cause a time paradox where you reunite with her. Please, for the love of God. We didn't really get that, and I know that probably would sound cliche to do so, but like, dude, I just wished like he could have just altered time because I just wanted him to be back with his daughter, dude.
I mean, he does.
I
but
mean, yeah,
then she's
but
played by
like,
Ellen Burstyn instead.
but at least just to where like he would have his life back, and he wasn't like stranded on Earth for like 100 years or so. That's just the well, not exactly 100 years, but you know what I mean. But like to where like he was there for most of his life, and it was kind of interesting seeing Murph actually like working with NASA, despite the fact she was totally against the whole thing. So just being like, oh, she works for them now. Oh, okay, I guess. What? I thought you had a grudge against them, but okay, sure.
I don't know.
Okay, sure, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, yeah, I think like that scene alone of like the fifth dimensional plane, I think really just kind of sold it for me. Of just like, okay, yeah, I think I kind of get the hype for this now, in a way.
I can see that. Sure.
And then like seeing him actually like I guess, somehow surviving and being found in this fucking Inception ass of a new planet they're on.
Well, they're on like a space station that's like outside of like what, Saturn or something like that.
Oh wait, is it? I just figured like,
Yeah, it's
this
like
is like a new planet they're on now, where the
no,
Earth
so
just
it's
looks
like
this.
it's a space station, but it's in like that weird cylindrical shape. But like it's supposed to like mimic like Earth's atmosphere, but it's just, in a cylinder shape where they can like walk around it, I guess.
That was so bizarre, honestly.
It was bizarre. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, like, yeah, because like when it looked like that, it reminded me of like that scene from Inception where like the ground was like lifting upwards and it was at an angle. Like you see
Yeah,
how like the
exactly.
cities and buildings were like lifting like on it, like the ground was like moving upwards, like on its side.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
reminded me of. Like, what are we in Inception world now? What the fuck?
Inception World coming to Disney World.
Oh my god. That would be cool. But yeah, just on the fact that they said he's like 124 now. I'm just like, no, the fuck he ain't. Why do you think? Okay, but no.
Fry was over 1,000 years old.
Oh
What's
fuck.
his excuse?
Fuck. I don't want to think that. But, I
No,
mean,
you know
then
what?
again,
You know
I mean,
what's
that's
fucked up
fair.
about. You know what's fucked up about Fry's age is that there's that episode where they go like completely forward in time, that they start time over, meaning Fry is, and they do it like again. So like Fry is like, he's like the oldest creature to ever live. Like, isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, if you put it like
Futurama's
that.
fucked up when you think about it. Like that one episode kind of just fucks me up.
Fun fucked up.
Because they like go so forward in time that like everything starts over again, and they go into like the new dimension, I guess. Like, oh my god, that show is so.
Oh
fucked
god,
up.
imagine
I love
that with
Futurama.
Interstellar.
Yeah, he like went so forward in time. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, dude, that actually would have been like really cool to see him like, if like he didn't like make it back to that Earth, so he lives on in a new like Big Bang timeline.
I guess. Yeah.
That would probably
I
be
guess
like
so.
insane to do, but
Yeah.
like,
I think with what they got away with in this ending, again, even though I'm not a fan of the story, I think it was it was the best they could have done with that. And I like that they have Ellen Burstyn. I think she's a good actress. I love her in The Exorcist. I don't love her in The Exorcist Believer, but you know what? Interstellar's a better movie than Exorcist Believer. How about that?
true. No, yeah, but like seeing him actually like gain to reunite with Beth was like, I'm glad that that he finally got to do that, despite the fact that she's like old now,
Yeah.
and I is she on her deathbed, or did she just like wake up from like a hypersleep or some shit?
I think I think they explain like she's, really, really old. So like this is like hospice care in the future.
Damn.
Something like that.
But yeah, I did like that. I really liked that, like that ending, how like it's just being like, hey, Anne Hathaway's still out there. You probably want to go find her. And like you see him like leaving the ship as he's like trying to go back out there to save her. And I just got chills from that, just like, oh my god. Dude,
Well, is he
what an
saving
ending.
her, or is he going to find her? Because the planet that she lands on with Case is like gonna be New Earth. Like
Oh, that's right. She can take her helmet
think that-
off.
Yeah, I think that's what it's implying, because like there's that, because they have those three planets. They have the water planet that ends up being a bust. They have Dr. Mann's planet, which ends up being a bust. But then there's that third planet they keep talking about, with that person that Anne Hathaway is talking about a lot. I'm pretty sure that's the planet she's on at the end, and like that's supposed to imply like, oh, she's found Earth 2 and we need to go find her. But Matthew McConaughey's just like sneaking onto a ship to go find her. I don't understand the ending, but whatever.
I don't know. I just thought it was cool just being like, hey, Anne's still out there. I want to go find her. And so he
Yeah.
sets off to go find her, and we're just left with that. Like, we don't see like what happens next. And I think I feel like that's just the thing. Like, I hear people say about Nolan's films, just like you just gotta come up with the imagination to see what happens next. That's what just leaves
I'm
you
glad.
on.
Yes, I'm glad we didn't get a sequel to Interstellar. I'm glad this is what we have. Like,
I agree.
if you're gonna have, like, you know, because like everything has to have a sequel nowadays. It's just like no,
Not really.
a,
I mean,
a
I don't
movie
know.
can just be its own thing. You know, just leave it there. You know, yeah. It's the same thing with Memento. Same thing with Oppenheimer. We don't need sequels to these movies.
I think
Like they end.
Oppenheimer got its story straight from beginning to end. Like, I don't think like
Yeah.
why there's anything to go on to continue about it.
Yeah, there's nothing more to the story. Like what we saw is what we got, and
Yeah.
I think that's fine. And you know what? I respect Interstellar for doing that. Like I know, like I remember when I was like doing some research and I saw like you know some articles on Google being clickbaity articles being like, "When's Interstellar 2 happening?" And then you read it and it's just like it's not happening. It's like no, because it shouldn't happen.
No,
Like
because
this is,
when does no one ever do a sequel to this works?
well, The Dark Knight.
Oh,
But then
well,
also, but then
well, I
also, The
mean,
Dark Knight Rises didn't work. So
okay,
you
well,
know,
that's a Batman product. That's not an original like
yeah,
work
no, of
Nolan
course,
made
no,
with his own.
you're
Like,
absolutely right.
yeah.
Yes,
So of
yes,
course
you're
that has an
absolutely right.
exception. That's an exception.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. No, this, like I said, this movie was just fucking like fucking wild, and probably hell, maybe probably the most wildest Nolan film I've seen of the bunch. I kid you not. It
Hmm.
was like, I don't think like any other film I've seen of him just left that much of a holy fucking shit, what the hell did I just watch sort of moment sort of thing. Like, my review, I had no words for it. All I could say was Jesus Christ.
You know what? You know what? I feel like we've done a bunch of these now. Do you have an idea of what your Nolan ranking is so far of the movies we've talked about on the
I
podcast so
do
far?
have a ranking on Letterboxd. I think later
Okay.
down the line, it would probably be a fun idea to do like a Shifrilla style video of it, and I would like to
Hmm.
have you involved. Like, honestly, like I'd love to
Right.
hear you like bring in like you can bring like a short segment and be like, what's your thoughts on it? It'd be like a crowded video.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Well,
would.
so like of the movies we've seen thus far in terms of Nolan films, how would you rank them? Like so far as like, just to be like we've made it this far in the Nolan quest. Like how would you rank those?
So far, I don't know. I may differ it later on, but
Mhm.
so far we have Tenet, Dunkirk, Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, Interstellar, Inception, Oppenheimer, Dark Knight, Memento.
And that's from worst to best.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so of the movies we've talked about like exclusively on the podcast, I would probably go Memento, Oppenheimer, uh Dunkirk, Interstellar, Tenet. That was best to worst for me.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it may change. It may change. Who
Yeah,
knows?
mine may change. I don't know. I mean, I think like I said, when I was trying to rank Interstellar, I was like really debating like, what do I rank this? I really don't know. Like
Mhm.
I thought it was flawed, but then again, I really kind of had enjoyment with it. It was just like I don't really know. And it also just came with the fact of, where do I rank this? Do I like this more than the Batman and Dark Knight Rises, or what? I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something like because we've talked about a bunch of Nolan films so far in our Nolan quest. I figured, where are we at in our Nolan
Maybe I
quest,
just need
right?
to like we watch some of these. That way, I have like a better like mindset of like how to like place
Right.
them all.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll show you if I want to do a video on it at a later point in my life. I feel like maybe one thing I definitely like about, I guess, why I probably liked Interstellar more, because like the fact like I had such a wild experience with this movie. I guess that's probably would make sense, knowing the fact of how much the Xenoblade series has blown my fucking mind with how its world building, and with the fact of like when it comes to like the death and rebirth of recreation and destruction of world creating, with when it, because like, ah man, I can't really like I mean, then I couldn't. I probably can't explain it because like you have to think like when it comes to the worlds of Xenoblade, they're kind of created because of just of the fact that the original Earth itself, like that there's an actual world itself that like where you live on that does exist in the Xenoblade universe, but was kind of eradicated all because of a fucking Zohar monument that Dr. Klaus found and started fucking with it. So after that, yeah, he kind of calls kind of bit of a world wipe to where the remains of that world was left in the ruins of Allrest, and you have this new world that's an endless ocean, like Interstellar, where it's like endless ocean, and there's nothing, but there's like only two giants that exist on it, Bionis and Mechonis. So Xenoblade does have like a lot of like sci-fi elements that just blow my mind out of the water. That I guess kind of is why I feel like I have that vibe with Interstellar, because of just the idea of like the death and rebirth of worlds and stuff like that, and multiverse and shit like that, and just space.
Sure.
Oh, I could say the same with the Saga series and Gears, but I've yet to play the Saga trilogy and Gears. But I mean, you know me, I'm a huge fan of Gears.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And also would go with with my story of the Mordoverse, like I've talked about in Morto, like on the Faust episode, and how like that also has some stuff to do about death and rebirth of worlds and creativity and shit like that. What's dying, what's living, what causes it, shit like that.
Fucking magnets, how do they work?
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Well, I think we can both agree that you're gonna eventually add Interstellar to your collection. I doubt it's gonna be that DVD. I'm pretty sure you'll want it on a nice Blu-ray.
No, yeah, when I have more money, I'll probably want to buy a Blu-ray. Like I said, I bought the DVD because I had to see this movie. I had no way to do so, so this is just kind of a bit of like last resort option.
Yeah, I will not be adding Interstellar to my collection. It's the same thing as
and
Tenet
fuck you
or
for that.
Dunkirk. Yeah, I just don't have much passion for these movies. But I mean, the good news is, I mean, not to spoil the 2023 episode that I'm recording with Bamison tomorrow.
Oh boy.
I have Oppenheimer on 4K. I'm keeping that. So.
Well, I just own it regularly on Blu-ray because I don't own a 4K player.
Yeah, no, but like I watched it on the Blu-ray. So good.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
I
good.
agree.
Love,
But no, yeah,
I love Oppenheimer.
I think one more thing I want to say, like before we move on, is like I probably like I haven't made a tweet about this, but like Nolan really kind of just has a way of like picking himself back up again when it comes to fumbling with the movie he had before, and knows how to redeem himself and fixes that in his next work. Like he can, it's either rise. He can fall, but he knows how to rise back up again with what to do next for his next work. That's why with Tenet, it was his recent film for the most part, and it wasn't really that good. But he stood up his game and he redeemed himself with Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you were telling me how like it went from Interstellar to Dunkirk, he thought he kind of fell a bit, but then got back up again when it came to Dunkirk. And just like how,
I mean, I do like Dunkirk more than on Interstellar.
Yeah, heck, and with well, when he had a bit of a rough start with Following, he definitely stood up his game when it came to Memento.
Yeah,
I've yet to see Following, but I know, like I've heard you told me it's kind of a weak film.
I mean, again, no matter how many weak films Nolan will make, I still like his good stuff. Like,
oh no, yeah, they're still enjoyable in its own way. Like they're not entirely bad.
Yeah.
Besides Tenet,
even Tenet, like as many problems as I have, I wouldn't say that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. Like yeah, I've definitely seen far worse.
I think I just hate on it too much, just out of ironic enjoyment.
Well, it is funny. It is funny to make fun of.
Yeah, I don't hate Tenet. I just bash on it a lot.
Because it's funny.
Yeah.
He ordered his hot sauce an hour ago.
Exactly. Oh my god. Oh, good lord.
Well, it's been a light year of talking about this movie. I feel like we talked about a lot with
Oh
Interstellar.
god, we spent like an hour and a half on this. Good lord.
Yeah, we still have to talk about a movie in my collection.
I'm surprised Interstellar was like as long as Oppenheimer, because you told me it's like, oh, it's like 3 hours long. And I'm like, dead ass.
Yeah.
And then I look at the
Yeah.
runtime. Oh shit.
Well, let's talk about a shorter movie now. What do you
Yeah.
say? Speaking
Yeah,
of
that's like
Lightyear,
69 minutes.
yes, is it really 69 minutes?
It was like an hour and 9 minutes when I looked at the runtime last night.
Oh yeah, 70 minutes long.
Shit. No, it's supposed to be 69. Fuck, get the funny number. What the fuck?
Well, I mean,
what the freak?
well, Mordo, this is the occasional VHS tape, and you know that they don't have menus. So what is ever on the tape is a part of the movie watching experience. So we're talking about Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins, starring Tim Allen.
Yeah, for some reason he wanted to talk about a cartoon movie. For some reason,
Yes, I did.
It wasn't my idea. I just went along with it, being like, all right, fine, have it your way. I could have been talking about something better, but okay.
Listen, okay, to keep up the theme of space movies, I thought it would be fun for us to talk about the Buzz Lightyear movie from the year 2000 because, well, you know, it's a space movie. It takes place in space. There's aliens and whatnot. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is because this is a movie that has fascinated me for years.
Really?
I've only had the VHS for like a couple months, I believe, but it's a movie that I watched as a kid, and I've thought about it. Like, I remember like being obsessed with it when I was a kid. You know, because I love Toy Story growing up. I love Toy Story 2. I love those movies. They were a huge part of my childhood. And I remember seeing commercials on like other Disney videotapes that I have had from like the late 90s, early 2000s that advertised a Buzz Lightyear movie. And as a kid, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. I'm like, holy shit, a Buzz Lightyear movie? That can't fail. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, 20 years later. But
Well, shit.
but we don't have to talk about that one. No,
Thank God.
I'm talking about the good one. Okay. So, well, I guess we have to talk a little bit about the bad one. So obviously,
do we though?
well, I'll just mention that in 2022, when I was preparing to see the movie Lightyear, I thought it would be fun to rewatch this movie because it's like, you know what? I hadn't seen it in like well over a decade at that point. Like, I'm talking like maybe even closer to 15 years since I had seen it last. Like I literally was a small child when I had last seen this Buzz Lightyear Star Command movie. And I thought, hey, what better way to watch it than to watch it to prepare for Lightyear? And I really liked it. Like, Buzz Lightyear Star Command, I loved it as a child because I watched it and, you know, I loved anything as a child. But then I watched it again as an adult about to see Lightyear, and I was like, oh, wow, this is actually really fun. Like, it's not, like, amazing. It's not on the same level as the first two Toy Stories, which are, you know, amazing films. But, like, it was still a lot of fun for what it was. You know, because it's this blatant cash grab spin-off of Toy Story. But for it being a blatant cash grab spin-off of Toy Story, I still thought it was a lot of fun. And then as the story goes, I went and saw Lightyear in theaters, and I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. But
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah, that's for a different day. I don't want to spend this whole time shitting on Lightyear. I just want to praise Buzz Lightyear Star Command. I want to be positive this episode because I know a lot of people probably don't like the fact I didn't like Interstellar, but let me talk about something I am passionate about, and that is Buzz Lightyear Star Command: The Adventure Begins.
You know, it's funny, you know, I will admit, like, I think I remember owning this movie on VHS and seeing it when I was a bit younger. I thought it was pretty good, but, like, you know, I probably ain't much of a huge, like, I wasn't, like, maybe not, like, a big as, like, Pixar fan. I mean, no, Toy Story fan as much as you are, but, like, I mean, I do enjoy those movies, but, like, I'm not, like, a hyper fan about it. And,
right.
Like, so I didn't really have the same, like, hype experience as you dad of, like, of a Buzz Lightyear movie. But, like, I mean, dude. I think it's pretty cool that, you know, they actually, like, they're, like, an animated film for that. which was
Oh,
actually
dude.
meant to be a TV pilot film for, you know, a
Oh, it
TV
was
series.
well, yeah, because they did make the TV series. It was obviously, like I said, it is so blatantly a backdoor pilot for this TV series that they made. Like they are so shameless about it. Like, and that's the thing is like, even though it's a blatant spin-off of Toy Story, it's basically just to cash in on the hype of Buzz Lightyear as a character from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Like, it's so blatant. But even with all of these things that should make it like a cynical cash grab, it doesn't feel cynical to me. I don't know. Just something about it works where it's like, I feel like the people making it, they know it's a cynically made product, but they're still doing the best that they can because they respect the character of Buzz Lightyear so much. Something that another movie didn't do. But you know, like, and I'm not trying to like say this is like an amazing feat in like Disney cinema, but like when I watch this movie after having seen the recent A material from, like, because remember, this is like Disney's B material in the year 2000, and it's better than Disney's A material now. Like, I will definitely go on record saying
True.
that. Like, it blows movies like Wish and Strange World out of the fucking water. Like, it is, again, it's not even like the greatest thing I've ever seen, but considering I'm watching a fun animated film from the year 2000 and I'm getting something significantly more impactful than Disney's like supposedly century in the making magnum opus from this year, that says a lot, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but like, and I will admit, I was incredibly hyped for this movie as a kid. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, when I was a kid and I saw like this Star Wars-esque trailer of like this, like these titles floating in space, being like, "Since the dawn of time, Buzz Lightyear, blah blah blah," like, and then you hear Buzz Lightyear go like, "To infinity and beyond." Like, they don't even show like. They don't show any footage from the movie. Like, that's all I had, like, as a kid when I saw that trailer for the first time, was just like this, you're in space, you see these like floating text, kind of like Star Wars, just being like Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, the movie. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, that was incredibly hype for me as a kid. Like, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then when I eventually,
I'm
I want to
curious.
say oh, go ahead.
I'm kind of curious. Did you think it was going to be like a 3D animated Pixar film when you were young, or like what did you expect that it was going to look like?
You know, I don't know what I would have expected, but I will say when I watched the movie and it starts off with the Toy Story characters in 3D, and then it like goes in, and then you go into their TV as they're watching it and it turns into 2D. I was surprised as a kid. I was like, "Oh, Buzz Lightyear in 2D. That's weird." Because when I think Buzz Lightyear, I think his character in Toy Story when he's like in 3D. So seeing him in 2D and seeing Zurg in 2D and seeing the little green men in 2D was a little off-putting at first. I think I got over it. Like, I wasn't like disappointed. It was just like weird to see at first, because you know you're used to these versions of these characters, and so it was a little, it just came off as a little shocking. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, I guess.
No, yeah, I agree.
I will say though, I like the 2D animation in this movie. I think what I love about this animation is that it's so obviously TV budget, where like it's not Disney 2D, like it's not Aladdin 2D or Lion King 2D. It is Disney. It's practically Disney sequel 2D, where you remember,
it
like,
was direct to video.
well, and it is from the same director as the Aladdin sequels, Tad Stones.
Wait, seriously? Hold up.
Yeah, no, he directed the Aladdin sequels, so Return of Jafar and King of Thieves.
What the fuck? Actually good sequels?
Yeah.
Real?
I know. That probably also ties into why I love this movie so much, like, because I love the Aladdin sequels.
Yeah, I mean they're actually like probably like one of the rare good ones.
Yeah, very rare good ones. But like I think the reason why is because well, so the Aladdin sequels, the animation was not very good when compared to the original, like the original Aladdin. You have this like kind of you have this like sort of prestige, this sophistication that comes with that animation. Whereas here, the animation is definitely a lot simpler, a lot wackier for sure. But I feel like why it works in the context of this movie is because, you know, it is a wacky Saturday morning schlockfest. Like it's supposed to harken back to like these Saturday morning serials, like these space serials, like similar to like this kind of stuff that like George Lucas grew up with when he watched like Flash Gordon, um, or like the those stupid like 80s shows like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and Transformers, where they're like these stupid space shows that are supposed to sell toys. Like that's what this Buzz Lightyear show is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the Buzz Lightyear show that Andy watches in the context of the Toy Story universe. And I feel that more so with this movie than I do the other movie. That claims to be the movie that Andy saw.
No, yeah, that's right, because I remember that's how they promoted me, like, oh yeah, this is the movie what Andy saw that got him into the buzz. And I'm like, bruh,
no, it's
dude,
not.
Dude,
no.
Hold on. You can't
Absolutely
tell me
the fuck
this. You cannot tell me this when this movie literally just starts off just saying, hey, the cartoon is canon in universe. No, this is the shit he fucking saw. Don't give me that. The cartoon's canon movie, in universe.
Yeah. No, this movie starts off with the Toy Story characters watching the movie. And they actually have them in 3D. They have the characters. It's a little obvious that it's not the same voice actor. So someone like Buzz and Rex are obviously voiced by Tim Allen and Wallace Shawn respectively. But Woody is not voiced by Tom Hanks.
Wait, that wasn't?
No, that was his brother, Jim Hanks.
Oh, I have to go back and re-listen to that, but like,
yeah,
no, yeah, but like, no, the fact that it starts off with them like actually like watching this movie kind of just confirms that the cartoon is canon in universe of Toy Story.
Yes.
Therefore, this is more accurate to that universe than whatever the fuck Lightyear was.
Yeah,
and I will die on that hill to defend that statement.
I will too, because instead of a black screen that says like, this is the movie Andy watched when he was 12 years old, it's like, no, that's bullshit. Here, they actually have the characters sit down, they watch the movie, and the movie genuinely feels like a Saturday morning cartoon that a little boy would watch and find enjoyment in. You want to know
Hell
why?
Yeah.
I was that little boy who watched it and found enjoyment in it.
You know, it's I was scrolling through the letterbox while you were talking earlier, and I saw a review for Lightyear, and I just died a little on the inside.
Yeah? Oh, I thought you were going to share it with us.
I did. No. I was going to send it to you, and to see your reaction. Then I'll say what it was.
Oh, Disney and Pixar's Interstellar.
Oh, I'm so salty. I know I follow you, but you did not. You did not just say that. You did not.
Even I won't go that far. Like, I won't go that far and say Lightyear is Disney's Interstellar.
I will find you, and I will hurt you. You son of a bitch.
Salty, come on the podcast someday.
I may or may not break your bones for that statement.
No, Mordo, we want to have Salty on the podcast someday.
Then apologize. Apologize to me right now. Apologize to Nolan right now. Your sins will not go unpunished.
Anyway, let's be more positive.
Yeah. Just kidding, I love you.
Yeah, we love Salty. Well, come on, we're talking about the occasional VHS tape. This is so rare on the podcast because it's occasional.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, that's the thing with this movie. Like, I will not argue it as being an amazing film, but I will argue it as being the best it could have been, you know? Because, like, when I think of, like, if you're going to make a cash grab, like, trying to cash in on the success of Toy Story, I feel like this is the best thing you could have made because it's You know, the animation is a lot of fun. It's very expressive, while also being super dramatic when it needs to be. Like some of the shadowing and the colors are really gorgeous to look at. Again, not the most gorgeous, but for a TV budget, pretty damn good, honestly. Like there's effort put into it, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree.
And I will even say, like, you know, I feel like Tim Allen genuinely feels like the same Buzz Lightyear we've grown to love. Like, he's still playing a different character than the Buzz we're familiar with, because, you know, this is Buzz in context of being in, like, being a space ranger. He's not Buzz, the character we know who thinks he's a space ranger, who then turns out is a toy. Like, this is the Buzz Lightyear that the toy is based off of. So it's a different character. But again, he works. Like, when I think Tim Allen is my Buzz Lightyear. I know there's like a version with like Patrick Warburton.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I want to talk about that. So yeah, so
please.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, this is meant to be a pilot movie for, you know, the TV show that came with it afterwards. There is a variant of this movie that is made for a TV cut, but Tim's lines was redubbed over by none other than Joe Swanson. And so I wanted to try to rewatch the movie, watching that cut to just compare. But honestly, I think like just 8 minutes in, I just thought to myself, I'm sorry, I can't, I just couldn't do it. No offense to Patrick. I'm sure he's a good guy. Love his acting. You know, funny Joe Swanson guy, stuff like that. But I'm sorry, Pat. This role was not made for you. I'm sorry.
Well, so it's interesting because on this VHS tape, they advertise like stay around after the credits for a sneak peek on the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command TV show. And I'm like, ooh, tantalizing. And I actually watched the trailer, and it was basically it was with Patrick Warburton as Buzz, which is funny because the VHS I have is the version with Tim Allen as Buzz, and
because that's like the TV, that's like the movie, like
it blatantly advertises saying like starring Tim Allen, so you know it's Tim Allen. But then then the trailer at the end, it starts off with Buzz being voiced by Patrick Warburton being like, "Hey, it's oh god, I gotta like hold on, I gotta prepare."
Hey, it's me, Buzz Lightyear.
Here's my spinach puffs. Okay. Hey, all you space rangers out there, it's Buzz Lightyear. It's me. Hey, B-movie. It's just like, it's not the same. Yeah. Look, I love Patrick Warburton. Love him. He's great. Like, he's even in the movie as the little green men. Like that's really funny. It's not the same voice actor who played the little green men in the first two Toy Stories. I think that's like a Pixar animator. Oh, I wish I remembered who it was. But they still sound like the little green men, but they definitely have a twang of Patrick Warburton to them, where they're just like, "We are the Unimind."
I had no idea. I had no idea Patrick was involved.
He plays all the LGMs. He's
That's
really
insane.
good. Yeah, so he is a good
I noticed
voice
that
actor.
the voice sounded a bit off than the voices sounded like in the movies.
Yeah, we are the Unimind.
Unimind.
We Unimind. Yeah, no, he's really good. But he's not Buzz. Like, yeah, no. When I think Buzz Lightyear, I think Tim Allen's voice.
I don't know why Tim didn't really like continue doing the voice of Buzz for the TV show. Like, I mean, he does TV roles, Home Improvement, Hello.
But I think he maybe like contractually he wasn't able to work something out, because like again, he'd have to be going in every day to like voice lines for Buzz Lightyear, and I'm sure he was just like, I don't want to do this for a stupid TV show, which is like, okay, but you wanted to do 2 other Santa Claus movies and then a Santa Claus TV show on Disney Plus years later, like, okay, dude, like if you're too good for Buzz Lightyear. So I don't know, but you know what, as long as we got him in the movie role, that's fine by me, because he really works in the movie.
He really does, yeah.
And I really like the other voice actors. So Zurg is played by Wayne Knight, which is...
Wait, what?
Yes, Newman from Seinfeld
No
is Zurg,
fucking way.
right? It works.
No,
like,
yeah, dude, this voice cast kind of wild to me. I'll go on, but Hal,
Yeah.
you finish.
I just want to say, like, Wayne Knight, you think, like, when you think Wayne Knight, you think funny. And yeah, because Wayne Knight was in Toy Story 2 because he was Al in Toy Story 2.
No, yeah, he
But
sounds exactly like he does in the actual movies.
but he actually works as Zurg because Zurg is supposed to be this, like, super kind of, he's like this super insecure guy, but like he's supposed to be evil, but like he's like a parody of Darth Vader, like amping up like the insecurities of Darth Vader. It's as if like Anakin actually was Darth Vader, like if Darth Vader acted how Anakin acted in the prequels, like that's what Zurg is, sort of.
Mhm.
But like it works really well because like they like deepen his voice, so like he sounds pathetic at times, but you still buy him being this like threatening villain to the main characters because he is somewhat intelligent enough, but he is also, it does have a bit of an ego to him, and so that's his downfall because he's because he's just so funny. And just the way he acts around his minions, the way he acts around like Buzz, it's beautiful. I love Wayne Knight in this movie. He works really, really well as Zurg. But yeah, you have a voice actor you wanted to bring up?
I will say though, before I go on, I think like what I like about Sharkman is like I love like the world building and its characters. Like they're definitely like, yeah, I think they're probably like, more enjoyable and like fun and creative than what the heck Lightyear did. I didn't even watch the movie, but I just took everyone's word for it, just being like, it's not good, don't watch it, which I didn't.
I'll take XR, voiced by Larry Miller, and Nova. Like, I'll take those characters far more than Taika Waititi. Like, it's not a contest.
No, speaking of Nova, when I heard her voice, I'm just like, wait, why does she sound familiar to me? So I had to look her up. Her voice actor is Nicole Sullivan, and I wasn't hearing things. Yeah, that's Joan of Arc from Clone High.
Yeah.
Because that's like the one, like, I guess like the only like voice role I know her for. So just hearing Nova, I'm just like, that's Joan of Arc from Clone High. What the hell?
Abe, I want you. You want me to what?
Man, I just wish that second season was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what was good was Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
And you know what else was good? Abandoned Pools. Hey, new album's coming out
Clone High
the
Season 1.
16th. Can't wait for that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. I've been so hyped about it.
Oh, I'm sure you have been.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I really do like Nova's character in this. Like, she's not the greatest written female character in a movie, but like, she was a lot of fun, and she was really funny again because she's voiced by someone who is funny in other things. Like,
True.
Yeah, Nicole Sullivan, really funny as Joan of Arc in Clone High season 1. I should reiterate that season 1 Clone High. And yeah, then the other side characters like Booster, he was really funny. Larry Miller as XR, he was really funny. Like, just really funny characters in this movie.
Actually, good cast of characters. There's like have like unique design to them, and how like they're like different. Like there's like definitely like Nova's like definitely different from the rest of the Star Command crew. And Booster. I almost said Buster.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. No, Booster. Yeah. No. Oh, and then can we talk about Warp Dark Matter? Buzz's partner.
Yeah.
So I like how it establishes them early on, and they're kind of bantering as partners do, and it's funny. Like, it's obviously like written for comedic effect, but it's funny. Like, I genuinely buy them as partners. And then Warp dies in quotation marks. So here's the thing. I'm going to be honest, because I was a stupid little child, I did not see the twist coming where it's revealed that Warp is like the bad guy. He's the secret twist villain. I did not see that coming as a child. When I watched it as an adult, I'm like, okay, no, it was definitely obvious because it's the same voice actor when he's like in that Boba Fett like outfit where like his voice is kind of like, Agent Z, like how his like voice is like kind of is lowered, so then you're not supposed to recognize him, but it's like, okay, that's still Diedrich Bader. I know who it is. Like, but even though like I was a stupid child who didn't see it coming, or like even if I see it now, it's obvious. It's still a genuinely good twist. Like, because Buzz didn't know. Like, and so when Buzz eventually learns, because he had no reason to learn, he had no reason to know it was. So when Buzz learns it, he's devastated. And it's honestly, it ties into, again, I'm not trying to say this is like beautifully written. This is not Shakespeare, but this is, for what it is, really good, you know? Like when
Just
Buzz
fun,
finds
cheesy
out
writing.
when he finds out that his partner was a twist villain the whole time, and like he wasn't actually a true friend to him, like that's devastating for Buzz, and I buy that completely. Unlike the twist villain in the Lightyear movie. Again, I'm trying not to bring that up, but I have to because you don't understand. This movie trumps the other one significantly in every fucking department.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
No, I agree. Yeah. Trash on it all you want. I don't care. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
They don't care.
I'll trash on it. Yeah, no, they don't care. They don't. But like,
And if you do care, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, I'm sorry we hurt your feelings.
Well, I will hurt anybody's feelings who likes Lightyear, because guess what? You should be watching Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
True.
That is the better movie. But you know what? You want to know the reason why people haven't watched it as much is because it's not on Disney Plus.
It's not. Wait, it's not.
It's not.
Is the show on there?
No, the show's not on there. The movie's not on there.
What are
Lightyear
they doing?
is on there. They're fucking up, apparently. Like,
Oh,
at
shit.
the moment, maybe it'll come later on. Because, you know, maybe at some point they'll have the foresight to actually put it on there. Maybe it'll come on. At the moment, it's not on there. And that pisses me off because it's a really fun movie. Like, am I hyping it up a lot? Probably. But I still think it's worth watching because I think it's a really fun movie. I want people to experience it because this is a huge part of my childhood. And watching it again, it still holds up in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
that's very rare for me to watch a movie from my childhood and to watch it again and still get something fun out of it. Like, a lot of the movie, like, obviously there are movies that I watched as a kid that I watch years later that are timeless. Stuff like Star Wars, stuff like the Muppet movie. Like, those are movies that I watched as a kid that are just as good as I remember them. But there are those movies that I watch that don't hold up as much. And so when I watch those again, they really disappoint me. And it's really, really frustrating. But this is an example of it. I got the good ending here with Buzz Lightyear Star Command. It's still a good movie. And I'm just so happy about that. I really am. I guess one more thing I wanted to say about it. And I don't, did you watch the credits? Or did you stop watching?
No, yeah. I read the credits roll. I didn't know if we were gonna cut back to the Toy Story crew being like, wow, that was a great movie, guys.
Okay, yeah. They did not bring back the Toy Story characters, which as a kid I was kind of bothered by that. I'm like, well, wait, what do they think of the movie?
I want to know what they thought. I wanted to go back to it, being like, well, that was a movie, guys. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm gonna assume Rex loved it the most because Rex seems like a huge.
He was
fan.
really hyped for it.
Yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to bring up was during the credits, they have the Buzz Lightyear Star Command theme sung by William Shatner. Actually, let me rephrase that, because he doesn't sing.
No,
William,
he really doesn't.
William Shatner does not sing. Even though he has a music career, he does not sing. He just says stuff. So he's like, to infinity and beyond. And you have backing vocals being like to infinity and beyond or something like that, during the song. Look this up online. It's on YouTube. Look up William Shatner, Buzz Lightyear. It's probably one of the first results you'll find on YouTube. It is the funniest goddamn thing in the world. And they put it at the end, during the end credits. They even advertise it. They say on the back of this VHS tape, end title song, To Infinity and Beyond, performed by, oh my God. Oh,
what?
They don't say sung by, they say performed by William Shatner and the Star Command chorus. So that is some sleight of hand wordplay right there. They're just like, oh, it's performed by William Shatner. It's like, no, you're supposed to say sung by William Shatner, but because he doesn't sing it technically, they have to specify it was performed by William Shatner. It's like,
So fucking dumb.
oh, dude. And you know what? I need to keep this VHS tape. I'm just gonna say it out right there.
Oh yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Like it's a really, like, obviously it's a VHS tape. It's not the highest quality. I doubt Disney's gonna put this on a Blu-ray. I don't think they will. If they do, they're probably only gonna do it through that Disney Movie Club, which I don't have. But like,
You know what I'm curious about? Does anyone out there really use it? I gotta know.
William does. He's been trying to coerce me to like become a member.
Oh dear. Dear.
But like, they're not going to put it on Blu-ray probably ever. I mean, they haven't even put it on Disney Plus. They don't care about this movie anymore. Disney doesn't. And like, okay, I guess I kind of get it. Like, it's from 20 years ago. Like, they've kind of moved on from that, and fine. But like, I don't know. Like, I love this movie. Like, it's a huge part of my childhood. It's something that I've rediscovered as an adult and still gotten a lot of enjoyment out of. I'm glad we rewatched it because you know, I rewatched it before Lightyear, so I was thinking like, oh, this is really good. But then it's like, okay, but now I need to rewatch it again, having Lightyear in mind, and it still holds up. Like, you know, I'm not just making it up. I'm not just being like, you know, I'm not like hyping this up because, you know, to shit on Lightyear. I'm hyping it up because I genuinely care about this film. Like, whether or not like other people are going to get the same experience out of it as me, whether they're going to get the same experience, like, it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you my experience. Same with Interstellar. Like, you know, whether or not you agree with me, I'm just saying what I believe, and I believe this is a good film. Like, is it the greatest film I've talked about on the podcast? No, but it is an important film nonetheless, and I want people to experience it because, you know, people are going to grow up, especially in this generation, the people who were not around 20 years ago when this came out, they're going to think, oh, Buzz Lightyear movie? You mean that terrible movie from 2022? No, I'm talking about the good one. There is a good Buzz Lightyear movie in existence. I swear to God. And it's this. So, please, people, seek it out any way you can. And me, I need it on a disc. I've been trying to find this on DVD for years. It's a miracle I even found it on VHS at Bull Moose when I found it. And it's an even bigger miracle that it actually works. Like, that's something that I need to establish. Just because listeners remember months ago when I did that Dune episode and I tried watching Dune on VHS and it looked like garbage. Like, I got really scared for a second there because I had the Buzz Lightyear VHS tape at the time and I'm like, oh fuck, does that mean it doesn't work? And I put it on, lo and behold, it works. So thank God for that.
Bro, just find the DVD on eBay. It's not that expensive.
I'm sure I'll find it. Yeah, I'm sure. So, but I think it's a shame that that's going to be the highest quality we'll ever get of it is on DVD. But like, you know, if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be.
It's better than nothing.
All I know is that I'm keeping the VHS tape. It's too much of a time capsule for me. And I don't know, just hearing William Shatner go to infinity and beyond, like in VHS quality, it's so good. It's so good.
Probably wasn't the I don't know. I probably wasn't the best, you know, decision to get William Shatner for a Buzz Lightyear song.
No,
like,
I'm glad they did that.
I mean,
I'm
true,
glad they
but
did
like,
that.
it was just so goofy being like, oh, come on, you could have thought something better, but whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they did. I'm so glad they did. It's so terrible. I love it.
Yeah, but like, imagine like kids just watching this and being like, what the fuck is this song?
That's true. This would probably be their introduction to William Shatner.
Yeah,
would be this song because
yeah, pretty much.
I don't know of any like kids around that time that probably would have been huge Star Trek fans. I mean, they probably would have been, but you know.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, just think. There are people out there whose first experience to William Shatner was American Psycho 2. Like,
oh no! Stop! Don't remind me that movie exists.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Dude, I forgot about it until you said it. I'm just like, fuck, that exists.
Well, let me remind you of a better movie. Buzz Lightyear Star Command. The Adventure Begins. So, Mordo, tell me. You don't own Buzz Lightyear Star Command, do you?
No. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I might buy the DVD just to be curious when I can. But yeah, no. Unlike Interstellar, this probably wasn't hard to like find like on a pirating site because I don't. I didn't realize so now like it's not on Disney Plus, which I thought it would be, which kind of throws me off. But then again, we don't have House of Mouse, so we can't have everything, can we?
No, that's true. Yeah, no, they are severely lacking. If
they
don't
are
have Buzz
sleeping
Lightyear
on
or
those
House of
shows.
Mouse.
What are they doing?
I don't understand it, man. I really don't.
The more I think about it, the more James is right about Disney Plus.
He's so correct. Yes,
so true. Spitting facts. But no, yeah, like I was trying to find it like on a pirating site. Like I was going on. Well, I thought I had luck with this one site I use called Watch Cartoons Online. And it's a pirating site, and I don't get bombarded with a shit ton of ads over my face with pop-ups, which is good. But the problem is, like, yeah, I probably had access to the TV cut, but when I wanted to find like the movie cut, they started having like this premium subscription thing they're doing now, which throws me off a bit. Like, this is a really good pirating site that I've used for a long while, and then being like, oh, we've blocked movies. You have to like get like a premium subscription to like watch movies, and be like, are you fucking kidding me? I ain't doing that.
Never buy into premium subscriptions of websites like that. That is such a scam. Like you will lose all the money.
No. So that's why I just try to find a different pirating site that doesn't get pop-ups, which I did, thankfully, and I was able to watch the movie cut with Tim Allen's voice. And after that, I'm just like, all right, let's see how the TV cut compares with Patrick Wilbur. And I'm just like, and I just hear him just sounding completely off as Buzz. I'm just like, I cannot sit through this movie. I can't. I give up.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we eventually watched it, and as long as the Tim Allen cut is a lot more accessible, then that's good. That's all we can ask for.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the TV show, see if he does a better job in there, but it's just, I don't know. He was not working out.
It would be interesting to see the TV show in its entirety. It's just, again, it's not on Disney Plus, so it's not of easy access to gain. So that's going to be a bit difficult. But...
Yar har fiddly deep.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that might be the only option. So
yeah, I do like the little like text box area it has in the corner, being like, "Oh hey, it's this place," but you already knew that.
Yeah, you already knew that. Yeah, that was funny.
I like how it's like self-aware sometimes.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, good visual gag.
So yeah, everybody go watch Buzz Lightyear Star Command. I don't know where you'll find it. I don't care where you'll find it. Find it and watch it. Like, please. I'm begging you, please. So yeah, Mordo, is there anything else you have to say before we wrap up our first episode of 2024?
I'd like to apologize for being a little harsh on you about Interstellar earlier. I hope this doesn't affect our friendship.
You piece of shit. You're never coming back.
Kill yourself!
No, of course not. Hey, we still have the Prestige episode with Uncultured Swine. I'm very much looking forward to that whenever we get to it.
And that's good, because I already own it, so I'm prepared whenever.
I'm prepared as well. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, we'll get... That's for a different episode for a different time, Mordo. Let's wrap up this one. So, please... shout out your stuff, Mordo. Where can people find you?
I'm right here.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool.
No, yeah. Just the usual, like Twitter, stuff like that. I have my main account, and I have my personal account. But I also use it as like a sketch account sometimes. Mm-hmm. Just if you just see me like venting, just be warned. But I swear it's not. It's nothing. Just like me, just being out of spite. I try not to be, but sometimes I'm just a very moody person. But I'll post like sketch art there from time to time. But yes, So there's that. I have a blue sky. I hear that's getting more open to the public now, which is good. There's just a Twitter backup. I guess Tumblr's there, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really use it. What's the point? I guess I have an Instagram. I also don't use. I don't know. I'm just saying this stuff. You don't really have to link this. Just link my Twitters if you have to, and of course, my Letterboxd. Definitely my Letterboxd.
You use Letterboxd far more often, of course.
Yeah. You know me, but YouTube, Twitter, Letterboxd. That's just the main stuff you'll mostly find me on. I'll just have those other sites if I just in case. But yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Mordo, thank you for finally coming on and talking about Interstellar, Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. I would have liked to have had this episode go out the first day of the 2024, but we had to push this back. It's fine. It's still the first episode of 2024.
Yeah, no, when you were first telling me about it, I'm just like, oh, fuck, I wasn't prepared. I've been at my family's place, and I haven't really had, and I kind of just been on edge, because, my life's just kind of dysfunctional.
Hey, that's okay, because you know what? We talked about Buzz Lightyear Star Command. That's important. That's the important part. I finally got to do it. I love this movie. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, the listener, for listening to today's episode. If you want to support the show, give a like, give a comment, do all that. Listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube. That's fine too. Doesn't matter.
Wait, we're on Apple now?
We've been on Apple Podcasts since I first started putting us on Spotify. Yes. I don't remember when that was.
I thought it was just only Spotify. It's funny.
No.
I will say you kind of, I think your podcast showed up for my Spotify rep.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it was probably actually the only podcast I listen to sometimes. So
well, actually, I have been told. I remember some people coming up to me, being like, "Hey, your podcast was on my Wrapped." It's like, oh, that's cool. And then I looked at, because on the Spotify for Podcasters app, it's just like, see the 2023 Wrapped, where you ranked among different people's. Apparently I had 40 fans, 15 fans, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, I don't know what any of this means. You can't just tell me numbers. But it's nice when people actually say hey, I listened to the podcast. It was very good. It's great. More of that, please. None of
yeah,
please.
Thanks for being my top podcast of 2023.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you all next time when we don't talk about Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
And we don't, choke each other over a film opinion.
Exactly.
Just to make sure, no one was harmed. That was a joke. No one was harmed. We're all okay. It's all safe. This wasn't as heated as I thought it would be.
No, I think you know what? Because we understand each other.
Yeah.
We're like Buzz Lightyear and Warp Dark Matter. Wait a minute.
Oh no. Oh yeah, I never got to say. Yeah, oh great. This movie is the cliche I don't need a partner movie sort of shtick. Bruh.
But it was good. It was good, I swear.
No, I agree. It's good. I was just joshing me oh, it's a cliche partner film.
Yeah, exactly. All right, goodbye, everybody.
All right, bye-bye. Go eat pizza now. Just